Tom Davis would normally be busy with clients throughout the year, but not much for the last 12 months.
I've pulled the plug on all clients, so it's really given me a good chance to really see what I've got on the ground and really manage to do it well. And I'm not just taking any animal just for the sake of getting in the chiller, so we will be looking at what we can get and make sure we take the right animal.
And is there a reason why you're sitting inside the car?
I don't want to get wet. I have already spotted a herd of fallow that's, I've just watched them with thermal and they just walk straight into cover. It is a heavy downpour at the minute.
Happily, the weather clears. It's early morning on the edge of Dartmoor in Devon, on a pheasant shoot where Tom manages the fallow population.
So they're in amongst all the furze here in front of us. They're only about 70 yards away. We'll probably hang fire here for a minute, see if they move out. If not, we'll make a move and see if we can get in amongst them. See what we can do. Hopefully, anyway.
We decide to wait it out, and dawn gradually lights up the woodland. But it lights up us too, and the deer sensibly jog on.
The gaps are so fine through those trees.
He doesn't take the shot, and the animals move away.
They didn't stop for that look back.
Further into the wood, we find plenty of sign of deer.
So that's fallow bucks. Just marking, they're not during the rut, they're doing marking territory. I reckon this is probably just a few prickets playing around at the moment. They'll have a little battle with each other. Yeah, so they're just scraping out here. We saw a bit of fraying a bit further down.
There's the snap of twigs to our right, and the animals that have clearly been watching us walk past melt into the wood further up the hill.
They must have been watching us do that. They were right behind us the whole time. But that's how it goes.
Then the "that's how it goes" improves. The same small herd of deer decides to circle left-handed in front of us. Tom has to make a quick decision on which animal he wants, and then to drop it.
Bark. Bark. So when we were recording down there and looking at the scrapes and whatnot, without us knowing there was some deer 30, 40 yards behind us without us realising. Of course they bumped when we turned around, and as we come through, they come out the rhododendron here and went up towards the open ground, I managed to get a glance at them as I was going up through here, and then when we got up, I managed to stop them up in the opening up here. I was straight onto sticks, and I picked out the doe second from the front, and what was left, what I could see, was a doe, a follower and a fawn. She didn't go far. I saw her drop. She went 5 yards to her right and then about 5 yards behind from the shot site, which was great. So it's gone to plan.
Shooting the animal is one thing, getting it back to the vehicle is another. Tom has to get the big doe over lots of obstacles between where he shot it and where he plans to gralloch it.
There we go. Try and keep out the dirt as best I can.
The reason he wants to gralloch it at his vehicle is so he can show off the new, improved, custom-made hoist and winch in the back of his pickup. You may remember the outing a few weeks ago where it all went wrong. Yes, that outing. Well, now he has fixed that.
It's a lot thicker, yeah. It's a lot deeper, and a lot thicker gauge as well.
That's the morning's work done. Now it's time for the afternoon's stalk. Tom plans a speculative walk in a wood where he has had good red and roe, but where he does not take stalking clients. First, let's talk heads. Tom has an impressive head at home, a silver medal, which he shot locally.
I get up to medal class red stags in here. They are phenomenal beasts. I've got one here which has been here quite some years. He's still here, and I'm quite selective of what stags I do bring on through. I leave and what I cull.
I do try and leave, anything that's got potential gets left, basically. Anything that doesn't look like it's got any potential, small body, poor growth, I'll take that out. If we come across something like that today, that'll be on the list. I haven't been here since November, so I don't, I've no idea what we're going to see today. This is more of a recce than, we're going to see deer there and we're going to go get them sort of thing. Okay, nice and subtle. So this is what I call my own private stalking, really. So no clients are allowed here. There are two reasons. The landowner likes to keep it private, and also I like to keep some stalking for myself, sort of my own hideaway. It's a huge valley. It's 3 miles from top to bottom. It's a typical Devon valley. It's like this. But very steep. It does help when you get a red down, because they tend to roll down on the next track below you, which is great. So you can pick them up nice and easy. I love it in here. It's everything you could want for in stalking. It's fantastic.
Tom says we will not see fallow here.
We've got fallow 20 minutes that way, fallow 20 minutes this way. So in here it's just red and row ground. All to my right is all drilled fields. The row are going out on that at the minute. Again, we'll be selective. I'll be taking out any follower does, stuff like that we'll be looking for. So again, it's just my own management plan in here. I don't, it's not a cull as such.
How about muntjac?
I've never seen one. I haven't heard one bark or anything like that. I mean, the amount I'm out, if I would have thought at some point I would have crossed paths with one, but they're elusive animals, so yeah, there could be. There's been some squat on the dual carriageway not too far from here, so yeah, they're coming, but I haven't seen one myself yet.
About a mile up the valley, Tom finds what he's looking for, the group that contains his old friend, the red stag.
First glimpse for the thermal was, I think it was 3 on the thermal, and straight away I could tell they were reds. Just simple, identification for the thermal. You got a long nose, long neck, and a huge body. So it's 3 to start off with. I never saw a stag. I could just see hinds and a calf, what it looked like for the thermal. There's quite a lot of foliage in front, so it wasn't easy identification. And then when we stalked up here to try and get a clear view, and then we saw the stag. Yeah, obviously he's too nice to take. He's a nice young stag. He's got great potential. He already is nice, but he's only going to get better at that age.
Tom decides to take one of the hinds to help thin out the group. Good management of deer can include what's called a pyramid approach, where the deer manager takes a diagonal slice out of the herd every season. Imagine the herd as a pyramid, with larger animals at the top and smaller and less good quality animals at the bottom. Depending on your herd size, if you shoot one large animal, you aim to cull 2 or more mid-sized animals and even more smaller animals in order to maintain the shape of the pyramid.
And yeah, after the shot, they weren't too twitchy. They moved on a bit and they stopped here 100 yards from us, didn't they? It's just, it's just great. It's nice to, when the deer are like that, you don't, otherwise you just end up pushing away. Here in Devon, the reds do tend to, they'll move around in the valleys a lot. Each valley comes down off the moors like a vein, so they do, they'll just move from valley to valley. But it's nice to see he's still here with the hinds. I was confident with the shot, and it looks great. Hopefully we can go up there, find a good trail, and let's go back to that same thing. I shot it, I'll drag it.
As it turns out, finding the hind is not easy. It runs down after the shot, as expected, but then turns and runs along for 20 metres, and the trees and scrub are thick here. Even though it is only 20 metres, it takes time for Tom to locate it. We want to go for a roe doe, but we are starting to lose the light.
So I spotted 2 roe on the other side of the valley, nearly a mile away, but I picked them up with the thermal. Needed to identify because they're a long way, but yeah, from what it looks like a doe, and it's fawn, so yeah, managed to pick them up. Wrong side of the valley for us, though, I'm afraid. Famous words, that's hunting.
As Tom says, that is indeed hunting, but it's good to see them, and goes to show you can take 3 species of deer in a day on Dartmoor if you put in the hours and you are lucky. If you would like to go deer stalking with Tom, you can find him on Facebook and Instagram. Links are in the description below.
I hate the waiting game. That Rudd Daniels has another gif. It's a I love hunting, but I hate waiting.